I came over to India with no intention of playing or training, simply to coach. I wanted to immerse myself in a different environment because I think that's the best way to learn.
सबको हक से मिलेगा रे ये उन्नति का चक्का और जल्दी चलेगा रे हर घर में लाइट भी होगा घर घर में पानी भी मौका है यही अब तो आजा रे आजा रे आजा रे आजा मोर्चा शक्ति है मुक्ति है मुक्ति है मोर्चा शक्ति है मुक्ति है मुक्ति है
I was very fortunate to be able to interview players and coaches from India and abroad. I was lucky to have the chance to include interviews from a former international player, a couple of first-class players and an international coach. The different views they shared were very interesting for me, as it gave me the chance to compare the way they do things over in India to back home. We all know that there's no one way to play or coach, which made what they had to say even more intriguing.
Myself, Vikrant Gupta. I am 24 years old. I played for the Mumbai state team.
I'm Chetan Dhingra. I'm a right-arm leg spinner, opening batsman.
My name is K. Jayantilal, former test player. I used to play for Hyderabad, then South Zone, then for India in 71.
And I play as an overseas in Scotland.
And I'm a professional umpire as well with the MCA and the next proceeding for BCCI level.
Started cricket basically because my brothers played it. Got me involved when I was younger. It was a nice, good way to, meet new people, make some friends.
Earlier it used to be like fun, a fun game. But then later I realized that I was good at it and I could do better. So that was the phase when I played cricket from fun to professionally.
Not only is it a hobby, it's a great. I feel free when I play cricket. I feel like I'm in my own zone. It's just a lovely thing.
Nice.
I love to coach. That's the reason. It's passion about what I'm doing. I like to see people growing in life, whether it's cricket or personal career. So that's the biggest thing for me. That's why I like to coach.
I wanted to, obviously like most people, to be a professional player. Wasn't able to get to that level. Coached because I enjoy working with kids, because I wanted to teach and having a bit of a teaching background, but didn't want to be in a classroom. So this is a much better classroom than certainly in any other classroom at all.
I coach because I love the game called cricket. It's in my blood. It's my passion. I've been playing since I was 5 years old, and since then, whatever you call me, whatever you ask me to do related to cricket, I'll be always there. Either it's umpiring, playing, or coaching.
And cricket's my passion, so to be able to coach and work with the next generation is obviously something that I would want to do.
Even if you wake me up at 2 o'clock in the night and ask me to play a game, I'll come and play for you.
Nowadays we talk a lot about the role of the coach. I think that over time the game of cricket has changed drastically, and as a result the role of the coach has changed slightly as well. One of the most important qualities that a coach should possess is clarity. Every coach has their own philosophy and their own ideas that they try and get across while coaching. The ability to be clear in getting these ideas across is vital.
Well, for me, cricket is all about skills. You got the talent, and it's about the attitude. For me, skills is more about awareness. So it's about him knowing what he's doing to make him a better cricketer. My main responsibility is, to be honest, to be frank enough, let them know what's a fact, make them more aware. For me, it's the awareness, whether they should be able to play cricket or they can play good cricket. So always make sure that they move a step ahead in their life, whether it's playing cricket or making any kind of decision in life.
Firstly, it's about a philosophy of enjoyment. If you don't enjoy what you do, you're not going to put the hours in. So I think a variety of training for kids, a variety of experiences. So that might mean fielding sessions with some golf ball catching or some tennis ball stuff or season ball. So there's a variety there that maintains interest levels. And my philosophy and what we put through our academy stuff is very much about maximising participation, or in a Australian football context, ball touches, which means the more times you touch the ball, the more times you hit it, the more you can improve.
In India, from what I've noticed, is that it's the coaches are more about you understanding the game, yourself, the limits, and your own limits, sort of thing. Not so much the technical side and whatnot.
Basically, it's more about understanding the game. I make the player understand. The more he understands, the well he understands it, the better for the player itself. Because you can't feed a guy, you learn how to eat the food. It's the same way as if you make him understand the game, it will be much better for him.
I think cricket's changed massively and with 2020 cricket these days and the way that the sport is being consumed, to me, decision making is the most important factor. A lot of kids spend a lot of times in the nets and they may play a perfect cover drive in a closed environment, but put them out in the middle and they have to decide whether to go forward, go back, play offside, leg side. So the ability to make decisions in real time is what I think differentiates between a good cricketer and a very good cricketer.
Fitness has become a huge part of the game today. With the cricket calendar becoming so intense and with 2020 cricket becoming so popular, the need for adequate fitness is crucial. If you aren't fit, you're not going to play. And in the higher levels, if you don't play, you can't make money. It's as simple as that. I've noticed a huge difference in the way they treat fitness over in India, and it's interesting to see what they do, how they do it, and why they do it.
Fitness, there were no trainers in our days. We used to do on our own. We get up early morning, go to the ground with a few of our old players. We used to take 20 rounds to the stadium, then full up and down of the stadium, speeding up, coming back slowly, then come back on the ground, try to do skipping, at least 10,000 non-stop. Well, it was easy because those days the weather was very good, the food was very good, the people were very helping nature.
People in olden days never used to go to gym or nothing like that, and they never remained injured. But nowadays, everything, people go to the gym and everything, and they still don't remain fit for the important games. So I think the natural way is the best way for me.
Across junior level, we want to teach our kids the basics of stretching, basics of flexibility. Irony is a lot of the children here do yoga, but their flexibility is quite poor from a number of our kids. And I put that down in a lot of ways to the fact that a lot of kids here play cricket and that's it.
Do a lot of swimming, cycling, that will help you a lot. Yeah. Swimming is very good for your breathing and everything, stamina built up.
I believe in more of skipping and running rather than going to the gym, because it's the natural way is the best way for me.
A lot of Australian kids grow up playing cricket, but they'll play football, they'll play basketball, they might play tennis. So I think exposure across different sports actually helps the body prepare for workload later on.
Nowadays, they're depending on trainer. If the trainer comes, whatever trainer shows, they do that much only. And most of them are doing a lot of weight training.
I think we've gone away from bench press, bicep curl, lat pull down type weights to more specific weight training, which is about training specific muscles that are going to be overloaded during matches.
I think again you go back to the awareness part. Is the cricketer knows how much is needed. So individually it has to vary. So you can't make a proper guide for somebody to make him fitter.
In some ways, it probably depends on their role. Obviously, at the pointy end of cricket, a bowling pre-season should be different to a batting pre-season, in terms of core strength and core stability, and obviously getting some workload under the belt.
It is for him to push him to the next level to know where his fitness lies according to his activity in the sports, whether it's a fast bowler, whether it's a spinner, whether it's a batsman, or if it's an all-rounder or wicket keeper. Everybody has a different level of fitness individually according to the culture, nature, and nature is according to the country where he lives in. That's his climate. So it has to be variable. It has to be very variable. I mean, you can't have a single line drawn for fitness.
Nowadays, the term stress fracture is a very common term amongst bowlers, in particular pace bowlers. Modern technology helps us identify these stress fractures, which are starting to become a real problem for what we believe are young, fit players. I wanted to know how the Indians deal with their bowlers, whether they put them under strict loading programs or whether they just let them bowl all day, every day.
I'm not inside the BCCI system to know too much. I know they do monitor. There's a number of different schools of thought, and Zahir Khan is an interesting one of growing up in the Maidans here in Mumbai and bowling 4 or 5 days a week, bowling for 3 or 4 hours at a time. Now, you could say, well, he's made it to the top level, but at 31, his body's fairly fragile now.
I think again if you go back to the ages where you had a lot of fast bowlers with less injuries, where people say they bowled less, but I think they bowled more than the current crop. But the only thing is they all had developed a natural bowling style and they were not modular into a single format. I think that's a major reason.
I've been playing since it's like almost now 18 to 19 years I've been playing, and I've been bowling for something around 10-15 years, and I've never been injured or anything like that. And I've been bowling lots and lots and lots.
And the second reason, like you just said, their association, they have a different way of calculating or modulate. They have a module which says they can bowl only this much amount of overs. So when they're exposed to a higher level and they haven't bowled so many overs, their body is not used to it. So I think somewhere else, it's the association or the people who are drawing a line for them.
Basically, when you're playing a game, if I'm bowling, okay, and if I bowl like I'm bowling well, here we make sure that I finish my spell. Instead of like in Scotland, if it's my first game, they won't give me the 10 overs. Are you getting me? I'll just say bowl 5, and then gradually every game it would be increasing.
Nowadays the calculation is there. Even fast bowler is that he bowled 6 overs, drop him out, give him rest. August another ball will come, he'll bowl 6 overs, he'll go out like that.
It depends upon everyone's perception. Like I have a perception like how does monitoring you might help, because if you bowl out, the more you bowl, the better you are.
If boy is fit, he should bowl in one session. If he is a bowler, he can bowl for 1.5 hours easily.
The better you understand and the more you bowl, the more your body gets used to it, and then the better of the body makes you the better outfit. That's what I feel.
Even a good bowler used to bowl at least 10 to 15 hours at a stretch, because they used to build up their stamina and everything. That proves that your fitness is very good.
So there's always going to be a trade-off, and unfortunately, while the human body is different from person to person, I think it's a management issue as much as anything. Then I don't think there's a hard and fast rule.
That's what every place has, like different principles, and you can say different ideas. Everyone thinks different.
Absolutely, like I just said back, it's very individualistic. So somebody who's more aware of his body, how it works, he knows how much workout he needs to do.
It just depends on, every human being, they have their different views, and it's never right or wrong. The best one which works out for you is the best, and the human beings call it right, because it did work out for you. If it's working out for you, it may not work out for someone else. That's how it is.
People have to understand, it is a skill of people. People can never be the same. If the thoughts are not same, how can the actions be the same? Because if you say no two people think same, so though no two people can do the same thing and get success. So it's a simple logic. I don't know why you want a rocket science to understand that.
When talking about cricket in India, the word passion crops up quite often. Walking down the streets of Mumbai, the love for the game is so in your face that it's impossible to ignore. At any time of the day or night, there will be a game on, whether it's down a little side street of a slum or on a grass oval. The Indians' love for the game of cricket has been compared to our love for rugby. But looking down the road and seeing kids play with a bit of wood and a crushed up Coke can, or listening to the chaos in the streets when India is playing, has shown me that the Indians' love for cricket is on a whole different level.
Essentially, structure is different, and just the environment of cricket here is different. Australian cricket, particularly at a junior level, is participation based. Even at 9, 10, 12 years of age, it's about playing cricket for cricket's sake. Whereas here, and I think it's a population thing and a pure intensity for life, cricket at 12 and 13-year-old is about being an elite cricketer. Can you be an elite cricketer? How do I be an elite cricketer? So the whole premise of why kids come to cricket is different.
I think the Indians play a completely sort of different game to the Australians. Spin bowling is just something that you do over here for fun. There's not many quicks around, not many medium paces, everyone wants to bowl spin. I also think that the passion and the love is where it all starts, I think.
There's not much of a club system here. Everything is quite academy based. So a club system in Australia, you join the local club, you have training once or twice a week, you play on Saturday. Here you join an academy and you might train 3 or 4 days per week, and then you might have games against other academies and another almost ad hoc environment. So there is some structure to it, but it's just a completely different environment.
You respect the game more when you see how the Indians do it.
I used to get up at 5, get a train at 5:45, that's 5:45, and just reach there by, say, 6:45.
And from then that, you respect the way you play cricket a lot more.
It was divided, like sometimes we used to have sessions from 7 to 12 and then a break and then again 2 to 4. So that's really tiring. That's the thing I was talking about when you asked me that what's the difference between cricket in India and cricket in Scotland. There they'll play for just 2 hours or 3 hours. But here that's what we do.
Population puts a squeeze on it, which means that if a player gets to a certain level, there's obviously a long queue of players behind them. Whereas maybe in the Australian system, it's a little bit different.
Like every young Indian cricketer wants to grow up every young boy in India who wants to grow up as a cricketer, do it professionally, everything. Like the many reasons behind it. First thing, the most followed game in India. Second thing, nowadays, a lot of money, being IPL up and all the other tournaments.
The first word people say is that cricket's like a religion, and I guess it is. But the passion and the knowledge for cricket is ingrained. It's cultural. It's fascinating for me because there's a passion about cricket for cricket's sake. So Indians will have a great knowledge of the Australian domestic cricket system, the New Zealand domestic cricket system. They'll know what's happening in county cricket in England, whereas I don't see that in other parts of the world.
Especially like in the Indians, they always have a soft corner for cricket. Like you do whatever age, start from a 4-year-old to a 5-year-old, to say an old man of 80 years, they all are crazy about cricket. That's how it is. An 80-year-old man won't spend time with his wife if India is playing. That's how it is. People like boyfriends and girlfriends, they have fights just because boyfriend says I'm busy, I'm watching a game.
People back home say that they live and breathe cricket. They definitely don't compared to the Indians. I mean, we rock up to training, and we live and breathe cricket for 2 hours. I mean, these net bowlers that we have here, they're from 9 till 5, and then they go home and they watch cricket, and I bet you they dream about cricket, and then I bet you they wake up thinking about cricket. I think that's living and breathing rather than us, as I said, who take it for granted and feel as if we have the passion for cricket when really we don't have anything that these kids have in India. Living and breathing cricket, we have a nice big ground, nice open ovals, nice everything to play on. These guys overlap each other and don't even worry about it. I mean, you could be fielding a slip for your game and then you're short legged for the game next door. Living and breathing cricket is something that I think maybe only the Indians really do. I don't think there's another continent or another country that lives and breathes cricket. You might have your odd people here and there that certainly may, but I think cricket is in Indians' blood. It's a religion.
गल सुन मेरी तू मुटियारे की समझे अपने आप नु मेरे मगर तू की कर दी गल बस तू ही जान दी मैनू सिफाइयां पेश न कर अब